So ever since I started aim coaching people, I've started noticing a trend in basically all games. And that is that people often use their movement against them. Now there's two types of way people use their movements against their own aim. Number one will actually be to not move with your aim, meaning as you're moving, if I'm pressing D right now, I'm moving to the opposite direction. So if I'm pressing D, I shouldn't be looking at the other way. And of course, this is on a minuscule level during gunfights, so it won't look this obvious. But basically, as I'm flicking, I don't want to be doing this. How's that a hit? I want to be basically moving with the target. So if I'm flicking, I want to be doing that. I don't want to be doing that and just stopping my mouse and then flicking. What I want to be doing if I'm moving is actually to adjust my aim to when I see this person. So I'm moving, pressing D and then moving with it, instead of just doing like that. So you're using your movement to basically adjust your aim. You're pressing the opposite direction, in this case A, and then flicking to that guy, instead of just moving and then flicking. Your basically aim, you should be doing this. This is a good way to train this. It basically should look like this, instead of looking like this. See how I'm moving with my aim instead of using it against me. Number two, this goes for all games. Note that. It's actually over moving. But let's say you're playing Apex, right? You don't want your movement to hinder your aim. So what does that mean? If you're not in active danger, or there's a lot of people around you, or maybe the guy's far away, you don't want to be AD spamming. In fact, if you take a look at some of my highlights or some of my clips, I rarely AD spam. What I usually do is hold one key, and this is how I would shoot. Obviously this is CS, so my bullets are going to be crazy, but this is how I shoot. I don't shoot like this. Let's say I'm playing COD, I will not shoot like this, because this will mess up my aim. This will move my aim for me and cause me to do this a lot, basically. Obviously, you can get better at this skill, but it will never be as clean when you're like switching targets. You have to realize when to move smoothly and when not to overdo this strafing part. Obviously, if you're fighting two people, yeah, you might want to do some crazy shit to like try to rescue that. But a lot of the time when you're on a 1v1 situation, you don't need to be overdoing your aim. So if I'm an average aimer, I probably would not follow this guy like this perfectly and just track him amazingly with recoil and with movement and with everything. How an average aimer would see you moving like this back and forth would just be to hold his mouse like this and try to shoot when you fucking get in the middle of his screen. And that will lead into more random shots more than actually tracking you. So basically you're working into his aim instead of working with your own aim. And the third thing, which is a little bit of a hidden bonus, which is when you're in a fight, rarely use the W or S key. Because if you're moving, take a look at how much harder it is to track this guy compared to when he moves like this. What tracking am I doing now? Because he's using W and S. But when I'm moving like this, he's going to be using A and D, which makes it a lot more harder to track. So this is the difference compared to this, which is literally no tracking whatsoever. I'm just standing still. So rarely use W and rarely use S in gunfights. Keep it to A and D, especially if you're peeking something. So if I'm peeking something, I don't want to come out like this. This was a A and a W key. See that? A and W. This is going to make it a straighter line and is going to work against the netcode since you're basically moving like this. This is the way you're moving. It's very easy for his aim to counter that. Instead of moving like this, this is going to work against the netcode and in your favor. Moving like this will fuck up the netcode, fuck up his aim instead of moving like this. Basically, if you hold D, it's going to be way quicker and it's going to be harder for his aim to counter it, and it's going to make your peaks a lot cleaner. Again, I'm showing this in the CSGO aimbots simply because it's easier to show off all the different techniques without having to go into all different aims. So yeah, that's how you make your movement a lot cleaner, how you make your clips a lot cleaner, and fix your shitty movement from ruining your aim.